Good morning, all. Today, good morning, everybody. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. My name is Dikshita, and today I'll be playing the role of Sergeant at Arms. I would welcome everybody to 484 meeting of Eloquent Toastmasters of Gurgaon. In Toastmasters meeting, we have MPR, which is Mission, Roles, and Passion. Mission is of our Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Rules. The first rule is please turn off your mobile phone or put them on silent mode. For that, I will give you 10 seconds. Hope everybody is able to switch off their phones or put them on silent mode. Okay. The second rule is, as a Toastmaster, we don't talk about sex, religion, and politics in a derogatory manner. And the third rule is, please do not cross talk. And for online audience, please put yourself on mute if you're not speaking and turn off your video if you're stepping out of the room. This would help to avoid distraction of our speakers. And let me introduce the passion. Eloquent is the third consecutive President Distinguished Club. Salute to the blood and sweat of members and EC committee who have worked tirelessly to make it happen. So welcome to the meeting of 484 of Eloquent Toastmasters. Now I hand over the stage to presiding officer, Toastmaster Dikshita. A very good morning to everybody who's present in today's meeting. And before we start the meeting, let me check who are the guests today. And I could see Veera, you are the guest, right? Can you just introduce yourself? Like, how did you know about the club? And just introduce yourself. Yeah. We can't hear you. Yeah.
My name is Veerapandi. I am coming from Tamil Nadu, and I am doing my job in Gurugram as an engineering consulting company and I am doing my executive MBA from FMS Delhi. And one of my friend has introduced about this Toastmaster Club, which is in MG Road itself. I'm also living in MG Road only, so that is how I came to know about this Eloquent Toastmaster Club. And I want to, so my objective to join this club is first thing is to improvise my communication skills and leadership qualities. So, these are my objectives. And second thing, actually, I'm more eager to join in a in-person meeting actually. So I think next week we could have in a live interaction with each other. So that is my brief introduction of mine.
A big round of applause for guest Veera for introducing yourself. And thanks so much for joining the meeting on a Saturday morning. Now let's move to another guest, Toastmaster Paras. Toastmaster, can you just, Paras, unmute yourself, introduce yourself?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes, so I got to know. I knew Eloquent Toastmasters are quite back, but I get the opportunity to be a part of it for a meeting and hopefully for the future also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Paras, for the lovely introduction. And let's move to our third guest, Toastmaster Anmol.
Yes, good morning, everyone, and thank you for the warm welcome, Dikshita. And my name is Anmol Vashisht. I'm an advocate by profession. I practice in Delhi. I am already a part of Toastmasters New Delhi, and that's where I met Mr. Paras. And Mr. Paras asked me to come and be a part of this meeting. So I look forward to having a good time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anmol, for introducing yourself. And let's hear from our guest, DTM, Rupender sir.
You didn't have to say that. I was about to start with that. I'm very nervous about public speaking. This is my first time in Toastmasters. And okay, I'm Rupinder. I'm a part of 4 clubs. 3 of them are in India. One of them is here in White Rock, BC. And I look forward to a fun meeting. Thank you so much. Oh, and I am wearing saffron, but I'll wear it during my speech. Thank you. Oh, one last thing, I have a terrible migraine, so don't mind the dark glasses, please.
Thank you, Rupinder sir, for the lovely introduction. And please take care of yourself. And let's begin the meeting. So let me first introduce today the Toastmaster of the day. And this is his debut performance. And big warm welcome to Rhythm. He has joined our club 2 months back, and I'm so happy that he has actually stepped up and have took the first role as a T-Mod. So let me introduce Rhythm, Toastmaster Rhythm. Rhythm is basically from a small town in Punjab. He's basically a background in mechanical engineering, and he now works as a data scientist. Rhythm enjoys traveling, cherishes quality time with his family. He looks forward to connecting, learning, and growing with the Toastmasters community. Let's raise our hands and give a warm welcome to Toastmasters Rhythm.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dikshita. So first of all, I would like to extend warm congratulations for the Independence Day, and today is also Janmashtami to all of you. And before I start, I want to say big thank you to all of you for being on camera. I think this was the biggest thing I was thinking, I have to convince everyone to be on camera, but luckily I have everyone on camera. So thank you so much for that. Yep. So I think today, it's already seems like a special meeting with so many distinguished Toastmasters and experienced Toastmasters. I think it's going to be a fantastic T-Mod experience for me as well. So yeah, I'd like to start with the topic that I've chosen for the day, which is the visionary leadership. So before I start into this topic, I just want to tell a short story about while I was prepping for this topic, what happened. So the initial thought when I chosen this topic was I went to ChatGPT. The thought was I'll put up this topic, I'll find a good book about it. I will maybe pick 4 or 5 main themes or chapters from it and maybe present that in the T-Mod. So I did the same thing. I went to the chatbot, and when I put in that topic with the same request, the first book recommendation that I got was Start with Why from Simon. I think at that moment I paused and realized, like, why do I want to discuss about this topic? And do I really want to just communicate what I have in the mind, or what is already publicly available, or do I have a different purpose? And I had a different purpose. I basically wanted to learn from all of you. I just don't want to share it with you. I want to also learn from your experiences. So visionary leadership, I have always felt, is something which makes great leaders. It is like one of that quality which is less understood, less talked about, and maybe very much misunderstood among people. So I wanted to learn from you. So I would request, throughout this session, if you could add your valuable thoughts, make this session engaging. That will be very helpful for me, because that's exactly the goal of this meeting, right? So to start with, what is a visionary leadership, or what is a visionary leader? I want to ask a very simple question. Do you think a manager and a leader are same, or is there any difference between the two, a manager and a leader? if you can just unmute yourself and share your thoughts. What are similarities between the two? What is different between the two, apart from their salary, of course? So, yeah.
Leader, hi, Rhythm, I would like to
Yeah, Dikshita. Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead. Yeah.
So for me, leader would be somebody who might have a foresight of the things, or he might have a vision for not for a couple of years or maybe for a couple of months, but he'd be somebody who has a vision to grow or to expand. Okay. And manager
Right.
would be someone who'd be like assigned to a task for a couple of months or couple of years, and he'll be just doing the job for that couple of assigned months or assigned years. That's what I see.
Right, Dikshita. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Yes, Paras.
As per me, the first difference I can get that a leader is not dependent on the position. If a leader is not on an entry level person, he could lead that bunch of people without getting any role assigned, without getting any duty assigned. I would think a leader would be a leader wherever he or she is. And a manager, depending on the position, when the position he or she gets a certain position, certain powers would be given to him so that the subsequent people could follow him. Could that would be my differentiation from leader and manager.
Thank you so much, Paras. Yeah, so that's a good differentiation between a leader and a manager. Anyone else? Yes, Harsh. Please go ahead.
So, if you are working for a manager, you will feel like you are working for him. But in contrast, if you are working for a leader, you will feel like you are working with him. You are the part of them.
Right. So he's not micromanaging you, right?
Yes.
He get you feels to be a part of bigger mission. Yeah. Thank you so much, Harsh. Anyone else? Okay. So thank you everyone like who participated and shared your thoughts. I think for me it's a very complicated topic, right? A manager and a leader. Generally, what it sounds to me like my initial perception of a leader was that someone who gets to be in a longer role as a manager ultimately gets to lead a team. Another difference is maybe manager is managing a team of smaller managing a smaller team, but a leader is managing a bigger team, or there could be more such differences like this. But when I look around overall in some of the great visionary leaders that we had who has actually changed this world, then there are some qualities that are very different about them. And it is not just restricted to how much team size you are managing, which projects you are managing, are you able to grow the profits your company or not. It's more than that. So the first major differentiation I see between a manager and a leader is that they too might be talking about the same thing, or a normal person or a visionary person might be talking about a same thing, but the thought process is very different. Their start point or end point might be same, but the from where it is coming, it's very different. I know it's little confusing, so I'll just take an example to explain this. So right now we all are living in this era where this generative AI is changing a lot of things, right? Even before this meeting, it has helped me to prep for this Toastmasters meeting, for all my official presentations in office. It helps a lot. But if let's say there is someone who says that 10 years from now, this technology could become something like Jarvis that we had in Iron Man, would you believe it? Maybe 10 or 15 years from now. But then there is also a visionary leader who is also saying the same thing, that yes, a person like Jarvis is possible, or a virtual assistant like Jarvis is possible 10 or 15 years from now. I think both are saying the same thing if you see. But the difference where it comes is in the thought process. One is saying just out of fantasy. He has watched some Marvel movies. He picked up that concept and thought, as things are growing, someday we will have those kind of things. But for a visionary leader, one important quality is he has a exceptionally good grip over the fundamentals. He understand what the customer wants. He understand the technology. He might not be very hands-on about how generative AI works, but he know the capability of that. He would know the capability of augmented reality, virtual reality, all the different technologies. And maybe there is something going in his mind that is making him convinced that, okay, 15 years from now, that thing is actually possible if the technology progress. So that, according to me, is a visionary leadership. So the definition of visionary leadership is being able to see something before the rest of world could. So that is what make a visionary leader. We have the Walt Disney. I think there is a very famous quote that before the before the Disneyland come into the picture, it actually was ready in the mind of Walt Disney. So that is the first exceptional quality that makes a visionary leader. So so anyone that who does not agree with that, or who would like to add anything to this? Please participate. I think that would really help if you can also add your thoughts. Yes, Anmol, please go ahead.
Yes, we've already covered a lot about visionary leadership. Now, just to add two bits, a visionary leader also adapts. So he changes with the situation, he changes with the people, he changes with the technology that is there. So even though in the minds of Walt Disney, the idea of Disneyland was there, that also changed with the kind of situation that evolved. So you will have
Right.
use of different technologies, you will have different characters. So it's an evolving process as well.
Right, Anmol. Yeah, very good point. So the leaders have to be adaptive. So I think there are a lot of examples. Like, I think Amazon is a very good example of it. It started with just a e-commerce store for books, and you can see where it is today. Like, you could imagine, like, the most profitable business that they have is they are selling the servers. Cloud is their most profitable business. So I think spot on point, the visionary leader need to adapt with time, need to change with time. So yeah, so I think a lot of other things as well that I think we can cover as we go along the journey. But now it's time to move ahead with the meeting. So for all our Toastmasters and our guests, I would just like to first introduce the structure of the Toastmaster meeting. A typical Toastmaster meeting consists of three sections. First is the prepared speeches, where the speaker comes prepared with their speeches and pathways and deliver speeches. Second, we have the table topic masters, where the impromptu speeches are given and the speakers have to give for 1 to 2 minutes. Here, all the guests are also invited to participate. And third, not the least, is the evaluation section, where everything is evaluated, because we only grow when we get the right feedback. So uh, so this is how this meeting will flow. And next, I would like to call the journal evaluator for today, which is Toastmaster Vidushi. Toastmaster Vidushi, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rhythm. Can you confirm if I'm perfectly audible and visible?
Yeah, you are audible. Yeah.
Sure, thank you. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Myself, Vidushi Madan. And today I have the privilege to be the GE for today's meeting. So as a GE, my role would be to evaluate the overall meeting quality and how the overall meeting went. And for this, I also have my tag team with me, and I would like to call upon everyone from my tag team to introduce themselves. So I start with a timer. Hi, Toastmaster Harsh. Can you come up for your introduction?
Yes. Can anyone confirm whether I'm audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Vidushi. Hello, everyone. My name is Harsh. Today, my role is of timer. My role as a timer is to keep time for all the speakers to ensure that everyone speaks within their allotted time slot. This is not to rush you in your performance, but to support you so that you can wrap up your performance in a particular time. This will also help in ensuring that the meeting runs on time.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harsh.
And
So moving ahead, I'll move to the grammarian, which is Toastmaster Dikshita. Toastmaster Dikshita, over to you.
Hi all, and today I have the honor to play the role of a grammarian. So as a grammarian, I'd be basically the Nazi of the meeting, where I'll be basically highlighting both the commendable and not so great uses of language. As a grammarian, it is my duty to introduce the word as well as the idiom of the day. The word of the day is adaptability. It means the quality to adjust or to adapt to any situation. For example, she was praised for her adaptability in a tough situation. And the idiom of the day is keep your chin up. It basically means having a positive attitude, especially when facing challenges. For example, keep your chin up when things, keep your chin up. Hopefully, things will get better soon. So that's all from my side, and I'll be sharing both the word and the idiom of the day on the chat box as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dikshita. So moving ahead, we have our counter, which is guest Ankit.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Doshi. So I'm Ankit and I'll be counting the ahs and ums in your speeches. This is not necessarily to judge your speech or basically it will improve the quality of your speech if we use these filler words less or use this repetitive words in a in less quantity. It basically improves the quality of the speech. So I'll at the end I'll share the report.
Thank you, Ankit, for explaining your role well. So moving ahead, thank you everyone. My team and I will share the report at the end of the meeting when called upon. With this, I'll hand back to the Toastmaster of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Rhythm.
Thank you,
Also,
Toastmaster Vidushi.
one more thing, Rhythm.
So,
Timer basically can also mention what are the specific timings for prepared speech, evaluation, and the table topics for the convenience of all.
thank you, Toastmaster Pritesh. Yeah, so Timer, would you like to share more details?
Yes, yes, yes. So, so as already told, there are three types of speeches. Like first is prepared speeches. I have three colored cards: green, yellow, and red. So for green card for prepared speech, green card for 5 minutes, yellow card for 6 minutes, and red card for seven minutes. For the evaluation part, green card for 2 minutes, yellow card for 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red card for 3 minutes. And for table topics, green card for 1 minute, yellow card for 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card for 2 minutes. And I will share the report at the end.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Harsh. So, with this, let's move to the first section of the meeting, which is the prepared speeches. And so the first speaker that we have is Toastmaster Ayushi, and she is delivering her speech from Path Visionary Communication, and the purpose is practice the skills. Practice the skills needed to effectively communicate to change a group or organization. It's a level 4 project 1 and title Between Two Doors. Uh, Before I call Toastmaster Ayushi to the stage, I would like to call the evaluator for Toastmaster Ayushi, respected distinguished Toastmaster Surendra sir. Sir, sir, you are on mute.
It works when you're
Thank you.
unmuted, Shaurendra.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And I like the specs that you have on, which is blinding everyone else out of you. Thank you.
Migraines.
Migraines. Okay, great. So, people, I do not have her objectives with me since it hadn't been shared with me, but I would presume that as she's going to practice her speech, it would be an effort how she would be able to convince all the audience on how well she can sort out her objectives. Thank you very much, and over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Surendra. Just I think to add to this, add more about the topic details for Ayushi. 50 boxes, 12 hours, 2 doors. Here is what the numbers don't tell you. Somewhere between sealing or unsealing the 50th box and opening a new door, I found out that home was never about the house at all. Over to you, Toastmaster Ayushi. Between the two doors.
Thank you. I am taking off the photo frames from the wall, wrapping them up in a bubble wrap, and placing them in the cardboard boxes. Ma'am, the bedroom door is done, says the head mover guy. And he places all the boxes in the front door. They are labeled as fragile. The movers and packers guys are really quick. They are moving at the speed of light. And by noon, the house where I grew up was empty. The truck swallowed the house furniture, and all of our belongings were taped in 50 boxes. Let's go see one last time, I asked my brother Aditya. And we wandered through the skeleton rooms. Our footsteps louder, voices echoing. I pulled the door behind me and we leave. The truck, now loaded, groans to life, carrying all of our belongings to a new door. The highway stretches ahead. We reach the outskirts of New Delhi. My brother is driving in silence. I see Mom. She's staring out of the window, lost in her own thoughts. And my mind is just racing. Will I be able to make new friends here? Will there be any good coffee shops where I could go? And the most important for me, my evening walks. Will there be any nice parks where I could go to? We finally arrive. And the truck that was carrying all of our belongings, it was already there. It had already reached. And I see three unexpected but familiar faces waiting at the porch steps. They are my friends. Weren't you supposed to be here by 2? My friend Anya asked. Oh, come on, the packing took longer than expected. We were 3 hours late. And you didn't really think we would just let you do it all alone, Kunal said. Come on, open the door quickly. Let's go inside. Yes. And I had the keys in my hand, and my hand was trembling. I turn the lock, and the door swings open. The truck unloads. The movers place the furniture in the corner room. And Anya and Aditya, they're carrying all the tape boxes inside, one after the another. Kunal and Yash, along with the movers, they are taking off the refrigerator from the truck into the house. Plug in the refrigerator first. I don't want the milk to get spoiled. My mom is still worried about the milk. Aditya complains as he's carrying the washing machine upstairs. My knees ache from climbing the stairs. And finally, the doorbell rings. Do we have more boxes to carry on? Oh, come on. We're done. I ordered dinner for us. Come on, let's eat. We can do all of these later. I dig through the fragile boxes and I pull out the paper plates. And we collapse on the floor in a circle. And our stomachs, they were growling. The dinner, we had ordered chicken, curry, and rice. And I served it to all. This was the best meal I have ever had, Aditya said, and we all agreed in exhaustion. My mom scans the empty rooms as if already visualizing. We'll put the bookcases in the hall, right next to the sofa. Right now? Really? No. Let's do it tomorrow. And we go back to eating. I look around. These unfamiliar worlds don't feel strange anymore. And between the two doors that I have called home, I felt that it isn't about the address that you memorize or the walls that had watched you grow from a little kid to an old person. Home is a feeling. And these people were there when I learned how to first write, how to cook, how to ride a bike. And they are today now with me, helping me in fresh start in an unfamiliar place. I call my friends and family my home. I call you, my friend, my home. Someday, somewhere, you might have to leave behind something. Keep moving forward because you will enter a new door. You will find a new home. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ayush. It was a wonderful speech, and I think with the kind of applause we are seeing, it's definitely well received by the audience. So thank you so much. Now I would like to take 30 minutes of silence for people to give their feedback to Toastmaster Ayushi.
Sorry, I just want to interrupt. Would like to say that it's 1 minute, not 30 minutes.
Sorry, yeah, 1 minute. I meant 30 seconds. It's 1 minute. So you can post your feedback in the like in the WhatsApp groups. Timer, please let us know like when 1 minute is over.
It is over.
Okay, great. So moving forward with our next speaker. So the next speaker is Toastmaster Paras. He's delivering his speech from Path Strategic Relationship, Level 3, Project 2. Title, it's all legal. So Paras is a Toastmaster from past 3 years. He's an advocate by profession, and he has already served as a secretary and VP membership of Toastmaster Club of New Delhi. So I'd first like to call his evaluator, Toastmaster Ayushi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vidhan. Toastmaster Paris today is delivering a speech from the Path Strategic Relationship. It's a level 2 project 3 project with the purpose that the member is to practice the skills needed to present himself well in an interview. The speech title is It's All Legal, and the interview is for 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ayushi. So over to you, Toastmaster Paras. It's all legal. It's all legal, Toastmaster Paras.
Anmol, please start.
So yes, with your kind permission, we start this interview, which will be an expert interview on the legal field. This is for the knowledge of other speakers. Now coming back to the interview. Good afternoon, Paras.
Yeah.
How are you?
Great. How are you, Anu?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. A
Okay.
little nervous?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I'm sure. Given your experience in this field, I'm sure you have nothing to be worried about. So make yourself feel comfortable.
To interrupt you, I think the topic that I've chosen can shiver even the most experienced one.
Of course. So Paras, tell me a bit about yourself.
So as I say, I'm a advocate by profession from past 7 years, and I have an extensive experience about how the jurisprudence of law works, and well, I have a bit of understanding of it, and that's why I chose the topic of constitution, so that I could present it in a very layman language where everyone can understand what the constitution is, because there's too much content and so little in the on the internet to bound down in a straight thread for the layman.
Right. Great choice of topic, since this interview will be about the Constitution. So, Mr. Paras, tell me, what do you understand by a Constitution?
What do I understand by constitution? Especially the Indian Constitution, when India got independence and the one country was divided into two dominion, India and Pakistan. India needs a document of constitution to concise with its ethos, to its genius, and also reflects its ambition to the whole country. The Constitution of India is bounded by the farmers of Constitution in a such way so that it's not reflect the present, but it also aspire the citizen to become the way in the future how we needs to be become. That's my understanding of the Constitution.
Right, perfect. So, what are the various parts of a Constitution? Can you briefly tell me about those?
So, especially Indian Constitution is the widest constitution in the whole world. It consists of preamble. Article expand to 448 articles, divided into 25 parts, and have the 12 schedules in it.
Yes. So what are the various parts that you can just briefly tell me about? Like you spoke about the preamble, what other components are there in the Indian Constitution? We'll be referring our discussion to the Indian Constitution only.
So as I said, there are 12 parts. Most important part is of the fundamental rights, which includes from Article 12 extended to Article 32. It describes the whole. If you see that all the laws that we have draws their power, somehow they are connected to these fundamental rights, and these fundamental rights are briefly to say that equality before the law, equality for the status, freedom of speech and expression, and equal opportunity for all the citizens of India. On this equal opportunity, that coupled with on the same circumstances. As the example is very lucid in that you cannot compare a newborn child to a PT Usha to run on the same track and expect the result on the same. That's why the equal opportunity coupled with the equal circumstances on the same circumstances, that's how they become equal. That equality and neutrality equity is a very different concept. That's why the circumstances has also coupled with the equal opportunity in our constitution.
Right. So can you throw some light on the Indian preamble and what does that say? And if that is still relevant today?
Oh no, it is relevant. So for the very dictionary meaning, preamble means the introduction of the document, introduction of the book that we are going to see. The preamble is like a beacon for the constitution. Right, the constitution will follow the preamble, not the otherwise. And since preamble is also basic is in impended on the Indian Constitution. It is the integral part of the Constitution, which through I would say Constitution is based on the principle of preamble. That's the game.
So is the preamble still relevant? What are those
Yes.
ideals which the preamble talks about? Can you throw some light on that as well?
For that, I would read word by word that preamble is still there. Preamble was integrated in the strong part of the Constitution, and it cannot. If it has to be changed, it needs to be an implied restriction on it. That in the legal way we say basic structure doctrine. Basic structure doctrine to just a sec that it is some restrictions on the Parliament that it cannot change the Constitution to some extent. That extent depends on the case to case. So preamble is let me read it out. We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to the constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all citizens justice, social, economical, political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of individual and the unity and integrity of India. That is the preamble. So, one small line I would say that fraternity needed to be entered in the preamble since for the world peace, since man cannot live in the peace if the fraternity it cannot love another man. So that's it.
Right. Great. That was very elaborate. Moving on, the preamble also talks about democracy. The preamble also talks about establishing a republic. What
Yes.
do you understand by these two terms? What is a democracy? What is a republic?
Many people think that the democracy and republic is one and the same thing, but it is not. They can survive on its own, and we have seen many examples where they have survived. Republic is a form of a parliament where legal representatives are chosen. Now, democratic is a way to choose their leader. They may be a republic, they may be autocratic.
Can you give an example of a democracy and also an example of a republican form of government?
So, republic form of government is where democracy did not. It was ancient Rome when republic was there, but democracy was later on founded. And the recent example for that is in North Korea, where they have a democracy where they choose their autocrat. So I think the time is up. We should wrap this interview right now. The red card is full.
Right. So thank you so much, Mr. Paras. Thank you for your time. And I hope everyone got to learn something from this interview.
Thank you so much. Over to Timon.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Paras. It was quite a surprise, I think. Took me initial 10 seconds to understand it's an interview going on. So thank you so much. I think it was a good learning of the Constitution and legal. I would request everyone to have 1 minute and share your feedback for Toastmaster Paras.
I'm not on WhatsApp group. You may share the feedback on the chats, please.
Yes, you can share on the chats. That would be helpful.
The time of 1 minute is over.
Thank you so much, Harsh. Okay, now let's move on to our third speaker for today. So third speaker is a distinguished Toastmaster, Rupinder sir. So he's a classic introvert. Rupinder never thought he would be a public speaker. Then in 2018, he stood second in the semifinals of Toastmaster International World Championship of Public Speaking in Chicago. Since 2015, Rupendra has delivered over 500 speeches, conducted more than 100 public speaking workshops, and has influenced over 5,000 lives. He believes that there are stories inside everyone, that everyone can be a storyteller, and that the world needs storytellers. And apart from that, I also want to add one thought. So I was having the conversation with Dikshita about Rupinder sir, and she mentioned to me that he's the one who can deliver the T-mod while being in the train. So that's the level of communication skills that he has. So today he's going to deliver speech from the path motivational strategies. The purpose is speech evaluation, and he's going to deliver project 4 from level 1. I would first like to call the evaluator of his speech, Toastmaster Paras.
Very good morning to all of you. Speaker is delivering his level 1 project 4's first speech of motivational strategy. Purpose of this speech is to get the feedback and apply the same on his next speech. Timer, please note that the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to the speaker, TTM Rupendra. All the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paras. Over to you, Toastmaster Rupendra.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes.
How many of you believe in a miracle? Show of hands. What if I told you that I see a miracle every day? A miracle I was born into. A miracle called India. Fellow Toastmasters, Mr. Toastmaster, and very distinguished guests. Being thousands of miles away from home in a country called Canada, India seems so distant and yet so near. You see, physically, I may be in Vancouver, but my heart is in India. In its chaos and its calm, in its crowds and its colors, in all its contradictions and all its celebrations, I cannot help but marvel at the fact that we as a country are a thriving democracy. Trust me, the miracle looks even more like a miracle when I look at it from thousands of miles away. Today, I took time off from work to go to the Indian consulate in Vancouver. Standing with a group of Indians outside the Indian consulate in the pouring rain and singing the national anthem. It was in that moment, amid the crowds and the celebration, that I realized how much India's story, our miracle, lives inside each of us, wherever we are. It reminded me of a story I heard many years ago, which kind of sums up the choices we have today. Unfortunately, I was neither able to verify the story on the internet, nor do I have all the names in place. It is likely that the story might be a fabrication. What is definitely not an imagination is that I heard the story at a conference of school teachers back in the days when I was a school teacher. The story goes like this. In 1930, a famed British economist met Gandhi and questioned him on his demand for Indian independence. According to The Economist, an independent India would be a land of anarchy, corruption, bloodshed, and pretty much everything that could go wrong with a fledgling nation trying to find its feet in a new world. It would not stay united, it would fall apart and possibly be ruled and ruined by another country. Gandhi listened to The Economist patiently, as was his nature to listen to everything. In the end, he had something like this to say: Mr. Economist, everything you say may come true. And it's a very real possibility that India will fall apart. Yes, you are right. We will have problems. But you know what? They will no longer be British problems. They will be our problems. They will be India's problems. Today, when you look back, you have to agree that for a country that was supposed to disintegrate, we have done rather well. When you look around India and its neighbors, you see that not many of our neighbors are shining epitomes of democratic values. And yet, somehow, India manages to find a way to thrive and not just survive as a democracy. When you look inside, you find that we are more than 1 billion people and counting. That means that we are more than 1 billion different opinions and counting, each opinion trying to pull this country into its own unique direction. And yet, somehow, every day, every morning, this country wakes up and manages to find a way forward. It is said that miracles don't happen nowadays. I say that the kind of presence India enjoys on the global stage is a miracle in itself. A miracle is something which you don't expect, and yet it happens anyway. By that definition, India itself is a miracle. Far from being a country on the verge of disintegration, we are a thriving, vibrant democracy. Yes, we've missed some opportunities. We could have done some things better. But keep in mind, we are a democracy for only about 75 years, which in terms of world history is not even a moment. We are compared to democracies older than us, like UK, USA, Canada, Australia. In my view, that comparison alone is a miracle. These countries have been a democracy much longer than in India, and yet to be counted in the same breath as them is nothing short of a miracle. You want another example? Europe is 3 times the size of India, 3 times. Half the population and far less diverse in language, ethnicity, and religion. And yet, 2 world wars. Now, shrink that continent to the size of a country India's size. Double the population, multiply the diversity, and try to run it as one nation. That, my friends, takes nothing less than a miracle. Speaking of Europe, I still do not know how true that story about Gandhi and The Economist is. But even if it is fiction, then let's prove that Economist wrong. Whether true or not, the message remains. Our problems are ours to solve, to own, to overcome together. So on this 79th Independence Day, I urge you to pause for a moment. Not to dwell on how far we still must go, but to honor how far we've come. Despite our differences, our debacles, our diversities. Let us take a moment to wish each other a happy Independence Day. And in that moment, let us marvel together at this miracle called India. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rupendra sir. I think words will fall short on the kind of speech that we have here, the kind of clarity it has, the kind of passion it has, and each word kind of stick with us. I think it was commendable, outstanding. So again, I think we will pause here for a minute and people can give their feedback on the wonderful speech that we have just witnessed.
The time of 1 minute is over.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Harsh. So we are now over with the first section of our meeting. And before we proceed further, I have a small exercise for all our three speakers. I think there was something I find interesting about each of them from their speech. I think the first question would be for the Toastmaster Ayushi. So she has delivered her speech from Path Visionary Communication. So Ayushi, according to you, like what is different of about visionary communication from rest of the communication that we do? What do you think is different?
Well, each each and every path that we have in Toastmasters has a specialized skill that they want you to master. So, for example, humorous pathway, if you choose that, it would focus more on humorous features.
Right.
I chose visionary communication because I am an engineer and I'm too much focused on the technicalities. I have no idea what leadership is. I have no experience how to lead a group of team or people. So I wanted to know how leaders think because I think in terms of technicality, optimizations, automations, and this is what runs in my mind. But
Right.
leaders, they have a bigger vision. So I think my pathway, well, visionary communication is one step towards realizing how leaders think, what their mindset is. So I think that is my motivation behind choosing a path.
Got it. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ayushi. I think it's very important for a visionary leadership to have that thought process. How they think is something that makes a leader into a visionary leader or a manager into a visionary leader. Now, coming to our second speaker, Toastmaster Paras. I think Toastmaster Paras and Mole and also Pritesh, you are from the legal fraternity. So maybe a difficult question, but if I have to ask you, who is a visionary leadership in India or abroad in this field, who would you say is a visionary leader, and why would you say so?
Visionary leader. I would rather say Bhimrao Ambedkar when the constitution was appended, because at that time was just seeing that there's a right of equality is a very far-fetched dream, since India has a thousands of years of history of untouchability, and now directly we abolished that the same practice and evolving into a new India, and seeing that someday that would be possible. So that would be my answer to your question.
Yeah, absolutely true. I think it would definitely have taken a vision that do countries separate out India and Pakistan. But it is this strong foundation of that constitution led by Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar that even today we have never been through, that kind of military kind of leadership. Our democracy has been so strong despite being so many differences. So absolutely agree with you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Paras. Toastmaster and Mol, you were also trying to add something, or
In the spirit of what Mr. Paras has already spoken,
yeah,
coming to the question of what a visionary leader is, to me, a visionary leader is someone who has in his vision compassion, who has in his vision equality, who has in his vision service. And
right.
if you incorporate those qualities and this sort of these sort of qualities are what makes humanity.
Mhm.
And that sort of a leader who has that vision, who is above bigotry, who is above hate, who is above ill will. That kind of a leader for me is a visionary leader.
Got it. Thank you so much, Toastmaster and Mol. And now coming to you, Toastmaster Rupinder. So, who do you think is the most visionary leader independent India has ever seen in last 79 years?
I would say all of them, because all of them had a vision.
Okay,
They try to implement that vision as best as possible.
right.
I mean, I will say this about every leader that India has had. Given our diversity, given our size, given our population, we are doing the best we can. And the reason I'll tell you why I say this. India, when it got its independence, was like a boat with holes, and you could only plug one hole at a time. And every time you plug the hole, another hole would start filling up. And all you could do was throw the water out, plug that hole, throw the water out, plug that hole.
Right.
Now, thankfully, we've managed to plug some holes. I mean, economy is doing reasonably well. It has went through turbulent times. We survived 2008. We uh, literally pawned our gold and got it back. That in itself is an achievement. I mean,
Right.
lesser countries would have fallen apart by now.
Right.
I would say that it is the vision, the collective vision of Indians as a whole that is keeping us together. So
Definitely.
you may say, when we say unity and diversity, I guess that as an Indian, we are all united, that we need to move this country forward. Yes,
Right.
we will pull it in our own direction, but somehow this country will find a way forward.
Right.
That's what I believe in, honestly.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Upindra. And I definitely agree that there had been many visionary leaders, and they have contributed in their own way to where India is today. So thank you so much, all the speakers. And since it's already been halfway, I think some of our members have gone off video. So I would request everyone who could come on video, it would be really helpful. So thank you so much, Ankit and Harsh, Dikshita. So yeah, so now moving on, the second important element of visionary leadership is about the courage. It takes a lot of courage to be a visionary leadership, because sometimes it happens that you are the only one who is saying that things will happen this way, but all others are saying that things will happen another way. And at that moment, holding your ground strong, believing in what you started for, requires a lot of courage. And that is the second quality that visionary leaders have. So before I start, giving the examples of it, I just want to know from each of you, like, if anyone wants to share anything, about the leader, where you think, you think it requires courage to be a visionary leadership, or is it overrated? Anyone, like, who wants to add to it? Or if you have any examples you want to share that visionary leaders require courage.
Hi, Rhythm. I have a point if I can make.
Yeah, sure. Toastmaster Vidyusha, yeah.
So this is something that I have noted in my experience, that having the courage to own our own decisions. This is
Mhm.
something which is very important. So
Right.
this is something that I noted very recently with myself, that I was part of a project and I had to manage team of 2 people. And there were some mistakes that, some of my team member did. And eventually, we were facing issues, how to sort it out. Then I heard from my leader that, how important it is to own it up first. That it was a decision taken by you or your team, and that is also part of courage, right? That you own whatever you had decided or whatever you did or your team did.
Right.
So yes, I agree with
Toastmasters.
you that courage is a very important aspect.
Right, exactly. I think that's a very important aspect of visionary leadership because it's easy to take decisions, right? But owning the consequences of it is the most difficult part and requires a lot of courage. I think one of the major problem that we see in the corporate world is we all talk about there is a lot of office politics. But what is the main root of that office politics? It's because there is someone who is not ready to own up his decision. He wants to put blame on others when things go wrong. I think that is another thing, a lot of people don't have, and kind of which cascade into this office politics. But keeping it aside, uh, I have a story to share. So I read the biography of Steve Jobs, and I really loved it. So 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 here it goes. The when the Steve Jobs built company Apple, so at that time computers were just starting up. There wasn't anything in picture. It wasn't a proven concept. No one knows what it is. You have these small computers, how they will be useful. They had no idea. But still, Steve Jobs with Steve Wozniak built this company Apple. When it reached a certain stage, right, it had got a good sales. It was becoming a known name in the industry. At that moment, Steve Jobs felt that Apple need a experienced CEO. And at that time, one of the most experienced CEO or the known CEO of was John Scully. He was heading the Coca-Cola companies that at that time. So they tried to convince him to join Apple, but he did not agree to it because at that time Coca-Cola was like a very big company, and Apple was more kind of a startup growing very fast. You never know where it is going. So Steve Jobs actually had to do a lot of convincing to get him take up this job, and he even at one point said that do you want to spend rest of your life selling sugar water, or do you want to come with me and change the world? So after a lot of convincing, he took up the job in Apple. But few years down the line, how things unfolded would really shock someone, right? The same person who built company Apple and bring it to such a level, he was thrown out from his own company. And the person behind that was John Scully, because he did not like the way things were going. So the same person who he embodied to the company, the same company he built, he was thrown out of that company. You can imagine the kind of courage it would need or the kind of situation it would be. But then the same person did not lose out. When you have the visionary leaders, they don't succeed just in one part of life, they can succeed anywhere. So he started another company. I'm sure you must have heard Pixar Technologies, the animation company. They at that time they made the most successful animated animation movies, and they were kind of new industry that started up because at that time the animation industry was going down. So having the courage to stand up for those tough times and rebounding back is the another great quality of visionary leaders, and that is what separates them out from the managers. So yeah, so with that, I think we can move to the next section. If before that, if anyone has to add anything, I'm happy to hear, like anyone has any thoughts. Okay, if not, so let's move to the next section of our meeting, which is the table topics. And I would like to call on the stage our table topic master for today, Toastmaster Pritesh.
Hi everyone. I really enjoyed listening to each and every one of you, all the three prepared speeches and Toastmaster rhythm about how a visionary leadership, what all skills should one have. So coming back to my role, so my role basically for today would be to provide a table topic to each of the speaker who comes and volunteers. The theme is basically a situation-based theme. So you will be given one particular situation, and on that basis, you'll be given a requisite time of 1 to 2 minutes, and you would need to justify that particular situation or to properly answer or to kind of as to how would you react in that particular situation. Uh, so I would like to start with the session. So anyone who would like to volunteer first? Anyone who would like to volunteer first? Anyone can raise
I
their hand.
can volunteer.
Hi, Ankit. So Toastmaster Ankit. Okay. You met your childhood crush at a reunion, and you have 3 minutes to impress. What would you say? You met your childhood crush at a reunion, and you have 3 minutes to impress her. What would you say, Toastmaster Ankit?
That's a difficult one. I'm not sure. Not really sure.
You had a childhood crush? No.
Yeah, I had a childhood crush, but I'm not sure how I can impress her.
Anything which comes in your mind.
Maybe give her a flower, a rose or something. Or maybe share a gift with her that something something with the moments you had spent with her. Gift about that, an old photo or yeah, some gift or uh, that enjoys or basically he celebrates the moments spent with her. Yeah, I think that's all.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Ankit. Anyone else who would like to volunteer? Okay, Toastmaster Paris. Thank you for volunteering.
Sure.
Okay, so Toastmaster Paris, you are at a restaurant and the waiter serves you a wrong dish. How will you handle the situation? You are at a restaurant and the waiter serves you the wrong dish. How will you handle the situation, Toastmaster Paris?
First of all, I'll ignore the mistake of the waiter and eat the half of it. And once I enjoyed the meal, I'll be shocked. What it is? This is what I did not order, and call the waiter and say, "Is this the dish I ordered? Have you seen it? I have had it half that I had. Yet I could not say, is this the real dish that I ordered?" And give the order that bring the next one, which I could enjoy as per my whims and wishes. Now the waiter would be confused if I could mistakenly give a wrong dish. That's my problem. How could someone eat a wrong dish which he has not ordered? That question would ponder him again and again about this thing. And even the chef would think, When I have made a wrong dish, how a person can eat in the wrong dish? A mistake would be my end that I switch the slaves. How a person can switches taste buds? That's how I will enjoy. I will call the waiter and bring in my own original dish, and I'll enjoy the half of the dish which I even not ordered. That at the cost of one, I'll enjoy the one and a half dish. Over to table topic master.
Thank you. Seems like you have been through this particular situation, the way you answered it in a very confident tone. Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Paris. Anyone else? Okay, Toastmaster Surendra, and then I'll come back to you, Toastmaster Anmol. Toastmaster Surendra, you accidentally sent a message meant for your girlfriend to your boss. How will you fix it? You accidentally sent a message meant for your girlfriend to your boss. How will you fix it? Toastmaster Surendra.
Well, it reminds me of the time it really happened. But it wasn't the girlfriend, it was actually my wife I had sent. And unfortunately, again, that it was actually something which I wanted to let steam on. So I just was firing her on something, some issue, and it went to my boss. Now, my boss was one of those guys who, like when we were talking about leadership and why an organization sometimes fails, always had this huge problem that he was insecure. And therefore, this message was doubly impacting him. Now, I did not know that I had made this mistake because my boss's name was Ishan and my wife's name is Isha. So it wasn't really just the N at the end of it which made all the difference. But then, what did I do? I went up to him and said, Boss, you know what? I wanted to have what we use in Hindi, a very strong word is, my bhadas nikal raha tha. And I just let it go. And I let it go for you because I was very fearful that if I had sent it to my wife, it would be worse. And he burst out laughing. And there I made that biggest arrangement with him that in future, he became one of those guys who would share life with us. And maybe somewhere I became a better leader and he himself became a better leader because we accepted where we had made mistakes. And once you accept your mistakes, people appreciate you. With that, over to you, Mr. Toastmaster, or table topic master to be precise. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Toastmaster Surendra. The way you articulated it, you kind of captured everything from everywhere in terms of which speaker spoke what, and whatever you learned from the session, and the visionary communication and your own personal experience in kind of tackling the topic was really inspiring. Anyway, yeah, Toastmaster Anmol, you had raised your hand.
I'm still raising my hand.
Oh, okay. Toastmaster Anmol, you're asked to give a toast at your best friend's wedding. You were asked to give a toast at your best friend's wedding, but you forgot to prepare. What would you say? Toastmaster, you were asked to give a toast at your best friend's wedding, but you forgot to prepare. What would you say, Toastmaster Anmol?
to my best friend, I take this opportunity to raise a toast. And I have with me a rather articulate and prepared speech explaining how great person. Oh, shit, I got a blank paper with me. I forgot the speech. Never mind, I'll just come up with something on my own. To Puru, who's a great guy, an absolute gem of a person. He's always been like water. He's always been like water because he flows and navigates and finds his way. Puru is a thorough gentleman, and he's cool. I mean, not in a bad sense, but he's cool. He's a cool guy. He knows what to say. Even under great pressure, you'll find him coming out on the top. I know Puru since my childhood, and I know that he's going to be a great guy when he gets married as well. He's going to be a great husband. He's going to be like perhaps as strong as a glass. No, guys, I mean that as a compliment. Don't get confused. He's a strong guy, he's cool, and he's going to find his way. So I raise this toast and wish the couple the very best. To the lovely couple.
Very nicely
What do
done.
you, Toastmaster?
Thank you. Very nicely done. Anyone else? Any guess? Anyone?
If you can't find anyone, then I can.
Okay, that's great. Toastmaster Rupinder. You are being falsely accused of something you didn't do. How will you defend yourself? You are being falsely accused of something you didn't do. How will you defend yourself? Toastmaster Rupinder.
Short answer, I will not defend myself because it's not a new experience. I am getting accused of things I did not do, and sometimes I get accused of things that other people have done. So, there is this couplet in Hindi which says that, which roughly translate into, they found peace and success, so they kept running. I found success and peace, so I stopped. I gave up. And that's what I do. If they say that 2 plus 2 is equal to 25, I'll say yes, 25. I mean, only yesterday I read about it. There's a Wikipedia article on this. And if they say no, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, that's absolutely right. It's 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. I read an article about this as well. And they're going to say that's not an answer. I'm going to say that, well, that's how ChatGPT answers. I'm pretty sure ChatGPT answers that. If ChatGPT says yes to that, you can listen to Roop GPT saying yes to that as well. So, short answer, it is not a new experience where I'm being held responsible for everything that goes wrong. In fact, I can tell you this thing, that my wife blames me since the time US attacked Iraq, and that was 1991. Pretty sure I'm responsible for that. I am responsible for 9/11 also, according to her. Maybe Russia attacked Ukraine. I was responsible. You see, I have a very responsible position in my house. Every time something goes wrong, I'm responsible. Problem is, my wife still hasn't gotten over that 1991 time when US attacked Iraq. So I'm still waiting for the second Gulf War to happen and the invasion of Afghanistan and 9/11, God knows what else. So yeah, you say I get blamed for everything. I say every day is a Monday. And it's not just last Monday. It's like Monday from 20 years ago. So a lot of Mondays to catch up. So now I just say, yep, I'm to blame. I'll take the blame because I want peace. Mr. Toastmaster.
I really enjoyed every second listening to you. Like very nicely done. I don't know how you do it, but it's amazing.
Get married. You'll know how to do it.
Oh, Anyone else? Okay. Anyone else? Anyone can volunteer. And I would request everyone to switch on the camera. Vishaka, Vidushi, Adyan, Rupinder.
Ask one question for Rupinder sir.
Sorry?
This is Mondi. I want to ask a few questions on Rupinder sir about the recent topic you have given, table topic. I have
I
few
could
questions
not
on it.
understand your point.
So, is it possible-
Do you want to participate, Veera, in the table topic section?
I just wanted to ask few doubts on table topic which was given to Rupinder sir.
Which question was given?
The question, the way he answered, I would like to ask few doubts actually. So first doubt is he excellently managed that topic actually. But my question is, it is a kind of stereotype, like so stereotyping a wife, right? So does the audience will think in that manner, or is it fine actually? Because
Are you
I just wanted to
asking?
know.
See,
Are
he's
you
blaming you.
asking?
He's blaming you for something.
Not blaming
Am
actually.
I
Is
being?
that fine actually?
I think
He's again
I think
blaming you for something.
Shorinder can answer that question better. He knows that I never cared for what people think.
He's
You
blaming
have to
you.
unmute for that.
Actually, here,
Shorinder,
sir?
there's an unmute button. Use that.
Would you repeat that question? Because I was not very sure what you wanted to know.
So that table topic he used
I think summarily what he's asking is that am I bothered that I'll offend someone with my speech? That's what you're saying?
think
it is a kind
Short
of
answer, no.
stereotyping. Yeah, I'm not offended. Yeah, but I just wanted to get some clarification on how you have uh, yes spoken actually. So used the term used the concept that everyone will blame their husband. So to manage in such a situation, is it does it offend some audience? No, if we give any speech like that means some audience will get offended, right? So is that
it
fine
was a
or
joke.
In table topics, you are
yeah,
given an opportunity
actually,
in 1 to
which
2
I'm
minutes
asking.
to open your
Sorry.
heart. And you want to make it, the very fact that even the person gets offended means that you've made a point. And
Yeah.
that's what you're trying to make. Our effort is to make yourself heard. As a good speaker, you must have the ability to get people to hear you. And the very fact that Rupinder said something was a fact that you took note of what he said. So his work is done. So I think there's no offense. Nobody takes it that way. Unless you're from the opposition, of course.
Because I got your point.
Toastmaster Veera Pandin, I hope you got your answer.
So that's
You would like to volunteer for some topic?
yes, I'm bit actually. This is I'm actually a guest here.
Yeah,
So
my guest must be given an opportunity.
we encourage guests.
So I'm looking forward. Yeah, you might give a topic. I will speak on it.
Okay. Okay. So Toastmaster Veera Pandin, you are stuck in a lift with your boss. The lift won't open for 20 minutes. What will you talk about? You are stuck in a lift with your boss. The lift won't open for 20 minutes. What will you talk about, Toastmaster Veera Pandit?
Ah, I think assuming that my boss is a visionary leader, that I will ask about a feedback from him about myself and the second question I will ask that what is his career plan for next hierarchy and what is the goals of our organization. I will discuss these things with him and especially emphasis more on my feedback about him, how I'm working uh, and what are the qualities skill sets qualities I have to improve on myself to get a leader like him. So that is what I would discuss with him.
Okay. Nicely done.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anyone else?
So, Pritish, I think we will be short on time, so it would be better if we can move ahead.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
already 1:06.
Yeah, and we have all the evaluations also left.
All right. So I'll be ending here. Thanks a lot. Thank you everyone for volunteering, and I hope to see you next again in the physical meeting whenever it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster
Over to you,
Pritesh.
Toastmaster Rhythm.
Thank you so much for these wonderful topics. I think these were so relatable, and it was clear from the fact that incidents had happened with people, and the table topics were really good. I think before I move forward about the visionary leadership, not my saying, visionary husbands are the ones who knows how to say sorry even when they are not wrong. So moving ahead, uh, I think I'll just take a few more minutes. I think there are a lot many qualities of visionary leaders, but the third important quality I want to touch upon is the perseverance. I think it's again not a much hyped quality that is being talked about the leaders, but having the ability to persevere when the things are not going right. So there are moments which are very plain in your life where you don't have either too many struggles or you don't have too much success getting, but you still need to get up, come to your place and keep doing your work. And that is what is perseverance, and that is another quality of visionary leaders. One of the latest example that I could think of is Elon Musk. I think he's a very controversial figure right now. You might hate him, like him, but one of the things that is sure about him is I don't remember how many times I have read about the news that the SpaceX rocket has failed at this stage, that stage, so many stages. I've never heard a news it has ever passed, but still lot of money, lot of efforts he's putting into it because he believes that the human civilization is possible on Mars. I don't think majority of people believe that, or they even question like what's the need of that. But he has the vision and he is putting everything behind it. And with that, I think it's time to summarize some of the things. I think when I start, I thought I would learn few things from you, and of course there were few things that I have learned. So a lot of things, if there are qualities that you need to develop in yourself for being a visionary leader, and it's important because it will give you success in your life which you cannot imagine. So you need to have very strong grip over the fundamentals. You need to own up your decisions. Be ready for all the consequences. You need to have the courage to stand alone in what you believe and keep working on that. You need to inspire people. You need to have people believe in you, not just that you are leading by your role, but leading by the individual you are. You need to have perseverance. You need to be aware about your surroundings, and maybe lot many other skills that we might not be able to cover today. But I think these are some of the skills we all can focus, maybe try to inculcate in ourselves, learn, and that will give us immense success in our life, and maybe who knows, we might be able to bring some change in other people's life. So with that, now let's move to the final section of this meeting, which is the evaluation section. And I would like to call Toastmaster Vidushi on the stage.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rhythm. Hi, everyone. Let's jump into the evaluation section. So I would like to start with the first evaluator, which is Toastmaster Surinder, who will be evaluating the speech of Toastmaster Ayushi. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Hello, Toastmaster Ayushi. Well, wasn't that a wonderful speech on adaptability, moving from one house to the other? But what I really loved, along with that emphasis that you put on this whole aspect and built that scenario, was the great pauses that you used. They actually powerfully expressed the feelings that you were having when you went through this entire process of changing homes. Along with the pauses, it was the pace at which you carried us through your story. Creating the scenarios, talking about that empty room when your brother and you walked in, the echoes, the emptiness, the silentness, and then looking out of the window when your mother was moving from one house to the other, how your brother was thinking as he drove silently from one end to the other. Every stage and every action was so well emoted, and it was all done with the power of your speech. Before I make one suggestion, I would like to say that you brought the story to a close so very well while you closed it, but you kept moving forward. And that is a power of a good speaker, the power of adaptability. If I may make a couple of recommendations, I felt some of the places you could have really used your hands and emotions to emphasize the points that you were making. Let's say the time when you were talking about the emptiness, stretching out your hands slowly and saying the huge emptiness. Or another place where your mother was looking out of the window. You know, the feelings conveyed along with it. Overall, fantastic speech. I loved the speech. I felt I was there, moving from one home to another home and sitting and having dinner at the end of the day with all your friends. Very well done and congratulations. And with that, over to you, Madam General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surinder. So moving ahead, I would like to call our second evaluator, which was our first speaker, which is Toastmaster Ayushi. Toastmaster Ayushi will be evaluating the speech of Toastmaster Paras. Over to you, Toastmaster Ayushi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vidushi. Starting with the interviewer, Toastmaster Anmol, I really liked with the professionalism that you conducted the interview. And you followed a structure. You had a definite start, a generic start about asking the interviewee to tell us about yourself. I liked how you started with simple questions and then you dived into the depth. And lastly, you had a formal ending. Great job as an interviewer. Interviewee, Paras. I really liked the way you answered the questions. The way you answered, it showed that you are really knowledgeable and you have a lot of knowledge to share. But given the time constraints, it felt like you were holding back. Tell us about yourself, Paras. I think you went directly to talk about the Constitution. How I would have liked you to do is tell us about yourself, slightly about your work experience, you as an advocate, as a professional, and then dive into the specifics of the interview, which is about the Constitution. You gave really good examples when you were talking about the parts of Constitution, that the Constitution has quite broad laws, the broad articles and the articles, right? And you gave an example that what might work for PT Usha may not work for a newborn child. I would have to like to have those examples more because this is a diverse audience. Some of us are engineers here, some of us are lawyers, some of us may be trainers, and each and every one of us may not understand the technicalities that you're talking about. But one thing that we'll take back is examples. So for this interview, I would encourage you to possibly consider giving more examples. When you spoke about the Indian preamble, I didn't know what it was, but the way you explained it as the beacon of constitution, that made me realize its importance, and you did it in an excellent manner. How I think it could have been better is there, like explaining the importance of preamble, you could have quoted something that made you have that opinion that preamble is still relevant and important to the Constitution. I know that you believe it's important, but I was questioning why is it that this person thinks so? So possibly adding some more knowledge there. Though I really liked the way you answered it, you have a lot of knowledge and the structure. You could possibly use STAR framework, which is giving a situation, the task, that is how you answer it, the action, how the Constitution takes action on it, and then the end result. I would consider you to use this to structure your answer. Lastly, to conclude my evaluation, Paris, you have a lot of knowledge. Show that knowledge in your interview, and it would be an exceptional interview. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us, and I wish you all the very best for your next speeches and interviews. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ayushi. So moving ahead, I would like to call our third evaluator, who was our second speaker, which is Toastmaster Paras, who will be evaluating the speech of Toastmaster Rupinder. Over to you, Toastmaster Paras.
Very good afternoon to all of you. An amazing speech delivered by the Toastmaster, by the targeted speaker, about a miracle that was formed on 79 years back and growing like a tree in many. And this speech made us reflect on the positive thing that is in our country, and rather than sticking on the problems that we are facing nowadays and altogether. The speaker was altogether a great speaker. It is very difficult to evaluate him, yet I still managed to do the same. Speaker used a very great metaphorical sense that a metaphor was presented for India, that is to a miracle. Whenever he used the word miracle as a verb, and whenever he used miracle as a metaphor, is very lucidify that creates that it is he's talking about a miracle India, and now he's talking about the miracle, that is the word. Great usage of metaphor there. Now when we get that point that India is a miracle, speaker tends to the negative point of India by again the usage of the words that was so emphasized that, and a pause was given to on after that it will get the word was used, it will get ruined or it is ruined. The pause that presented the speaker gave that audience that even I started to believe that whether the economist is right, that India after the independence, India will get ruined, India will demolished. That was the pivoting point of the speaker's speech. Now how well structured is in the next part. Speaker started on the very positive note, presented a very in the mid presented a problem about India. Now a great emphasis and a great part of his speech presented why the miracle, why he justified, why the first of all he told us about the miracle. Now he is justifying each and every but through his term each and everything why the India is miracle. That is the third recommendation from my part. A commendation from my part. Now come for the recommendation. For the recommendation part, I would request the speaker to use his whole body rather than showing the upper body. We could see there some arrangement could be made so that we could see the whole body. That's why we could also learn from his body language and the stage movement how and when the speech is going to be delivered. Second recommendation would be of the costume. Speaker very well done the saffron part, and he was wearing white. What I thought as it since a patriotic, the green was missing. Somehow the turban could be made a green, or the glasses could be made green. Somehow the green in his costume would be visible, so that we could the visually the speech also get better. For the summarized part, it is a very intriguing speech, and really, I said all of them has elevated their patriotism today and made many reasons to feel proud to be Indian. Over to Madam Ji.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paras, for your evaluation. So moving ahead, I would like to move to my tag team for their reports. Starting with the timer, Toastmaster Harsh, would you like to come up and share your report?
Sure. Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Vidushi. So I will be presenting the report. I'm sharing the screen once. Is it visible?
Not yet.
Just a second.
No, otherwise you can just.
Okay. I'm just communicating it verbally. So starting from the first section, the prepared speeches, Toastmaster Ayushi took 6 minutes 11 seconds. Toastmaster Paras 8 minutes 2 seconds. Toastmaster Rupinder 7 minutes 50 seconds. Moving on to the next section was table topics. Toastmaster Ankit 53 seconds. Toastmaster Paras 1 minute 43 seconds. Toastmaster Sorindra 2 minutes 12 seconds. Toastmaster Anmol 1 minute 29 seconds. Toastmaster Rupinder 2 minutes 21 seconds. And guest Veera Pandian 38 seconds. Now to the last section, evaluation. Toastmaster Sorindra 3 minutes 19 seconds. Toastmaster Ayushi 3 minutes 42 seconds. And Toastmaster Paras 3 minutes 34 seconds. So this was the report of the timer section. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harsh, for your detailed report. So moving ahead, I would like to call up the grammarian, which is Toastmaster Dikshita, to present her report. Over to you, Toastmaster Dikshita. Your mic is on mute in case you're speaking.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Today, I must say that as a grammarian, I was not able to fulfill my role. I was so absorbed listening to all these speakers that it completely slipped from my mind. So extremely apologies for that. And just want to highlight that each one of you were eloquent, and it was truly pleasure to listen to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dikshita. So moving to our R counter, which is guest Ankit. Ankit, over to you for your report.
Yeah, hi. I basically tried to find the synonyms from in the speeches, but all of these speeches were quite spotless and very fluent. IUC made one fumble while turning the lock of her new house. She just repeated the turn word once. I think we can forgive that. And yeah, Paras also in the start of his interview repeated few few words, had few repetitions. I thought it was being done deliberately to show he was nervous in the interview. So I did not actually note it down, but I think he had some repetitions of the words while starting of the interview. And again, for other speeches, Rupinder's speech was quite spotless. Again, for Toastmaster Paras, while the table topic, there are a few repetitions of the words like switch, and a few idioms were repeated. And yeah, that's more or less my report.
Thank you, Ankit, for sharing your report. So moving ahead, I would like to share my report. So we started the meeting fairly on time, around 11:34. So our sergeant of arms and presiding officer was Dikshita. She introduced the guests properly and she introduced the TMOD as well. And Dikshita, just one feedback as a grammarian for you would be that in case you feel that since you were multitasking, in case you feel that you are not able to provide justice, maybe you can drop a text while in the meeting, or you can ask any of the guests to take up an oxyron. Since an oxyron is something that, that can be taken up by anybody, including the guest. So I think that would be better. Just one feedback I had. Otherwise, a great job done as a presiding officer and SAA for today.
Noted. Okay.
Sure. Moving ahead, our Toastmaster of the day did a great job. Toastmaster Rhythm, you chose a very good topic, which was very knowledgeable for all of us. And you started by sharing a personal story. You gave a reference of a book. And the best part, which I feel as a TMOD for you, was that you opened the platform for everybody. So interaction was the highlight for you. And then you gave examples of multiple leaders, including Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, etc. And you also explained the structure of meeting for the benefit of our guests and new members. So that is also one great point that I wanted to highlight. So my only feedback for you as a TMOD would be time management. So as a TMOD, we are like the anchor of the show, right? Like if we see we are already 127, right? So when it comes to the end, as a GE or the Oxy team members, we get little less time or we are speeding up. We are just running the train. So that is the only feedback. Otherwise, a great job done in choosing the topic and your section of TMOD.
Thank you.
Moving ahead, we had 3 great speakers today. And for them, as the evaluation has been already covered in detail, I won't get in, but a great job done by all of them. Then we had our table topic section, which was taken up by Toastmaster Pratish. So Pratish, the star for your show was that the theme or the choice that you had chosen was very different from the usual one. Like we gave a topic, and in your theme today was giving a situation. So that was a little different, which attracted everybody. So a great job done there. You also explained the structure of how TTM works, a positive point here as well. And I also noted that after every speaker, you were giving a short synopsis or giving your point of view, which is also a good point of having an interaction with people. My only small feedback for you would be that, for example, if you are explaining how your TTM section will work, for example, you're explaining that there would be a situation and you have to talk about it. Maybe if you can also give an example next time. For example, if I'm the TTM and I'm saying a situation will be given, maybe I can explain that. For example, Vidushi is given a situation that she went out for a pizza party and she did not have money. So then I would explain like this. Maybe an example would make people more comfortable and they will come up more confidently. So just a small point which will be, add a star to your already great job. So moving ahead, we had multiple table topic speakers. Since we are slightly short on time, I will post the feedbacks that I have in the group. But we had 6 table topic speakers today, and all of them did a great job. And we had 3 evaluators today. All the evaluators also explained their report in detail. So that was about my report as a GE today. And with this, I'll hand back to our presiding officer for the meeting closure and the feedback. Over to you, Toastmaster Dikshita. Dikshita, are you there?
Yes, Vidushi. Thank you, Vidushi, for the comprehensive report. And I'd just like to announce that I have shared the voting link. So please do vote for your favorite role players. I have posted a link in the group as well as in the chat box. So please vote for your favorite role players. Meanwhile, let me hear from our guest. Veera, would you like to give an feedback about the meeting? What you like and what you didn't like about the meeting, Veera?
Yeah. Being to any club actually. So this is my first club I am joining. I have never been with any other club, even as a communication enrichment club. It is. I have never been to any other club actually. So I don't have much points, but so today some framework of this club actually, how it functions, what are the things you are having to improvise. So in my opinion, I am saying that so there is an impromptu, that is a good thing here. So impromptu speech actually. So in impromptu speech, I could gather many points which which will express myself. Who am I? So without having a much time uh, for organizing our speech, so we will spontaneously we have to express ourselves. So it will bring who we are. So that thing is very fine here. And the evaluator, the last evaluator, Vidushi Madan, she evaluated excellently. So this the evaluation matters actually to improvise anything. So that those things I have found very well. That is what my opinion. So I'm very eager to meet you all guys next week actually. Thank you.
Thank you, Veera, for the lovely feedback. Toastmaster Paras, would you like to add on anything?
It was a great meeting. I really enjoyed the audience of this club and really good, great vibe of the club. And fabulous evaluation, I must say. That is a very detailed evaluation that I get, and my fellow peers and speaker also get the same detailed evaluation. I really like the way that this club evaluate the speakers.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paras. Toastmaster Anmol, would you like to say something for the meeting, whole arrangement of the meeting as such?
Yes, enjoyed being a part of the meeting. Just a very short suggestion. Perhaps we could have a small break in between because just looking at the screen becomes a little strenuous on the eyes. So perhaps something that can also be looked after by the team. So thank you for making me a part of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Anmol, for the feedback. Definitely, we shall look into it. Thank you so much. And let's hear from our DTM, Surinder sir.
Well, thank you very much for having invited me. It's really an honor to be able to evaluate Arushi, who is really a good speaker, and it was lovely hearing some of the speeches. Rupinder gave me goosebumps. Pritish had some fabulous topics on which to speak on. Rhythm got me to know a lot about leadership. Likewise, Almol, I love the questions that you asked. And Paras, as an advocate, you were so prepared for it. Thank you very much. And I would love to be back here if given an opportunity in the future. Thank you very much. And over to you.
Thank you, Surinder sir, for the lovely feedback. And DTM Rupendra sir, would you like to say something for the meeting?
I enjoyed the meeting. Thank you so much for having me, letting me be a part of it. So, hopefully we'll catch up again soon. I will now leave. Thank you very much. I'll take your leave.
Thank you so much. And throughout the meeting, I must say, Rupendra sir, you made us realize how introvert you are. Thank you so much.
Okay, you will not believe it. No, I am actually an introvert. My personality type is INFP.
Someone made it wrongly. He didn't know.
Yeah, then the INFP algorithm is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
And thank you to be our man Flint with that specs of yours.
Okay, so we have received the voting. So let's now move to the voting part. So best prepared speech speaker, Toastmaster Ayushi, Toastmaster Paras, Toastmaster Rupinder. Any guesses?
Only Ayushi was qualified.
Toastmaster Rupinder.
Okay.
Best auxiliary role player, Toastmaster Harsh, Toastmaster Dikshita, and guest Ankit. It is Toastmaster Harsh. Congratulations, Harsh. Best role player, team or Toastmaster Rhythm, Toastmaster Vidushi for general evaluator, and table topic master, Toastmaster Pratish. Any guesses?
Pritesh.
It is team or Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rhythm. Congratulations, Rhythm. Best prepared speech evaluator, Toastmaster Shorinder, Toastmaster Ayushi, Toastmaster Paras. It's Toastmaster Shorinder, sir. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Best table topic speaker, guest Ankit, Toastmaster Paras, Toastmaster Shorinder, Toastmaster Anmol, Toastmaster Rupender, and guest Veera. Any guesses?
Toastmaster Rupender.
Toastmaster Anmol. Congratulations, Anmol. Okay, so best dressed following the theme. Toastmaster Rupender, Toastmaster Ayushi, guest Ankit, Toastmaster Vidushi, Toastmaster Rhythm, Toastmaster Dikshita, Toastmaster Pratish, Toastmaster Shorinder, Toastmaster Harsh, and guest Achil.
Toastmaster Shorinder, sir.
Pritish.
Yes, Toastmaster Pratish. That's all for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining in the meeting and making it successful. Because I'm very grateful to all of you. Reason being, when I first actually shared the agenda, I was a bit uncertain due to the long weekend. And I was wondering how I'm going to make this meeting successful. But when I saw our veterans and the new members stepping up, I got the courage, and a big thank you to all of you to make the meeting successful. Thank you so much and have a great weekend to all of you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.